world, and welcome back to Stuff We Do, where we do all the knife stuff you love. Knife reviews, knife tests, knife modifications, and outdoor stuff with knives. Today I want to show you these two horrible little things. But much like ugly dogs, they do have a definite personality. About, a week ago, we were still at Buffelspoort. It's a resort about an hour. Yeah, it's about an hour from where I live. Okay, if you've ever heard of the Marikana massacre or anything like that, the Marikana mine is very close to it. Anyway, so we were in the resort, and then one day we went outside to buy things. We were camping. And then there's this one store over there. It's like half hardware store, half grocery store. It's like an all-in-one type deal. And I found these two knives there. Well, they had actually a few knives. Not really high-end knives, but a few knives. But I bought the two cheapest ones I could find. Okay, let's do this one first. This is a DOW knife, which is Dogs of War. Okay, so this is a South African, one of those designed in South Africa and made in China knives. I think they say it's 420 steel. Yeah, 420 stainless steel, plastic handle, one rivet over there. It did loosen a bit over time, so it does have slight wiggle now. One backspacer and a backlock, extremely hard backlock. Okay, there's a chopper flying over me. Okay, extremely hard backlock, and it did start scraping against the blade now. Anyway, you can flick it, but you have to give it an excessive amount of oomph. Okay, behind the camera, I'm not going to do that now. Anyway, I bought this thing. And because it's such a cheap knife, I think I paid 80 Rand for it. And I'm pretty sure I overpaid. Same with that one. I paid 140 for that. Well, I posted the prices and the knives on Instagram, so you can go check there just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure I overpaid for both. But like I said, because this is such a cheap knife, I tried to break this thing. Not try to break it, but I used it as if I did not care at all. And it is actually extremely sturdy for the plastic and the 420. And it's still sharp. Well, pretty sharp. Okay, so there we have our DOW knife. This is like the ultimate cheap beater knife. Okay, if you want to see better DOW knives, I did do a video on them a while back, maybe a year or so ago, when I just started out somewhere. Anyway, this knife, I must say, for the 80 Rand, if you are in a pinch or if you need something and just something quick that you want to use, maybe for one trip and then give away or whatever, this is actually quite good. Okay, so there we have that. Then this knife, the Defander. Okay, I suppose they wanted to write Defender, but it came out like that. This thing, it had so much potential. If whoever made this thing, or wherever they made this thing, I know nothing about this knife, but if they spent half an hour more in making this thing, it could have been a great knife. Now, you can fix all the problems on this thing yourself if you really want to, but I will not be doing that. When I posted this thing on Instagram, somebody said what they normally do is if they are in that area for hunting or something, then they buy a few of these knives and then they give them to the people that, butcher the animals for you afterwards. Okay, that process the meat. Then they give each guy a knife like this. The people like it. It's a nice thing, whatever, just a little gesture. But let's have a closer look at this thing. It seems like this knife was assembled and then ground. Okay, what I mean by that is, if you look there on the blade, the back part of the blade has not been ground. So it's as if they assembled this thing and then started grinding. There we can see that it's been burned while grinding. It's discolored. The grind is definitely not, okay, I did use this thing also quite a lot, so the scratches is mine. Very rough grinding on this thing. Look at the tip, where they ground into the tip a bit. Look at the back. The spine is not ground completely. I wish I had better light now. Okay, the spine has got like facets to it. You see, it's been ground very crudely. Okay, it is quite sharp, the spine. Now, again, when I said it's as if they, again, there's gaps everywhere. Everywhere you can find a gap, there's a gap. So there's gaps everywhere. But when this thing locks up, it is rock solid. Nothing is moving. When you unlock it, it's perfect. Okay, it's covered with gunk and black stuff inside, and it's filthy. Again, it's as if they ground this thing after they actually assembled it. It's like this, what do you call it? Paka wood or something, this impregnated, resin impregnated wood. See all the gaps, and it's sharp everywhere, whatnot. But it feels fantastic in hand. It fills the hand beautifully. And it feels like you can do a lot of work with this thing. It's not a big knife. What's the blade length on this thing? 7 centimeters, 2 3/4 inches. But it feels like you can do a lot with it, and it feels like an extremely sturdy knife. Now, what I said by if they used extra half an hour, look at that. Do you see it's skew? This side is lower than that side. Look at the scales. They're not even. Centering is a bit off towards this side. Look at the back. You see it's not even, it's ground at an angle that way. Everything on this knife is ground badly. This is thinner than this. This is thicker than this. So half an hour more, or maybe, I don't know, make it on a Tuesday instead of on a Monday. Everything about this knife could have been awesome. I'm just going to take some thinners or something and take the Defander off, and then it should be much better already. But still, it works beautifully. It's got a beautiful snap to it. The backlock is quite positive. I'm just going to clean this thing and then take off the Defander and then use it maybe for a little braai knife. But it feels great in hand. And like I said, it works way better than it looks. And this is quite a shame, because this could have been a wonderful little knife. And maybe put a swedge in there just to hide that bad piece of grinding there at the tip. Okay, so these are my 2 knives I bought just outside of Buffelspoort, and 180, no, 80, 140. It's still a bargain, and you can play with them, and any knife makes me happy. And I buy things like this so I remember places. Some people buy little spoons or t-shirts or whatnot. Wherever I go, I try to buy at least one knife so I can remember the place. This one will most likely be given away to somebody, but this one I think I will keep. Okay, stay safe, happy, and have a good one. Goodbye.